Hi kids, welcome back. The reason I've got to be quiet and I'm here in a rather darkened room is it's about 2:15 a.m. on Christmas night, well, Boxing Day now. I didn't plan, so I just pick a pen up, I didn't plan on watching any Babylon 5 today, but Christmas Day was pretty boring for me. I spent a lot of time asleep, as is my age and my level of interest. So I rather late in the evening decided to watch the next disc, which is disc 5. I've got the TV right in front of me. I've got the titles of the episodes and stuff there, but I have made some notes, so let's get right into it. Episode 17 is called Legacies, written again by DC Fontana, who was a major writer on the original Star Trek series. Again, because DC Fontana wrote it, you can guarantee it's a quality episode. Two storylines as usual. The A story is the coming on board of a dead Minbari. Let me get the words right. Minbari heroic soldier figure called Branma, and his body is stolen. So basically the humans are getting blamed for it. There's a character whose name I can't remember, but he's a Minbari, and he's also of the warrior caste, and he's very horrible to Sinclair and blames humans for being, haven't changed their spot since the Minbari Earth War. And the B story is the young girl called Elisa has discovered that she just discovered her psychic powers, and she has to decide what she's going to do with herself. Is she going to join the Psi Corps, or is she going to join the Minbari, or is she going to join the Narn? Everyone seems to want her, and she has to work out for herself what she's doing. Okay, so there was a very satisfying conclusion to this, but we'll get to that in a sec. But essentially what was good about this, the A and B stories intertwined a little bit. While having a meeting with Delenn, the psychic girl has a vision of Delenn's people stealing the body. So that kind of explains the mystery of why the body went missing. So this paints Delenn as a bit of a weasel, because she didn't tell anyone, not even Sinclair. She didn't tell anyone because she's of the religious caste of the Minbari. She thought, this kind of military funeral type thing was not right, and it should be done in more in accordance with the religious ceremonies. But thing is, that almost started another war between Earth and Minbari. So how she got away with that kind of scot-free without, major repercussions is turns out Delenn, obviously she carries on till the end of the show, but right now she's not the nicest person. There is a lot of instant hostility between Susan Ivanova and Talia Winters, almost for no reason. I can understand why they start getting hostile towards each other over the fact of how Elisa, the psychic girl, is being treated. But to begin with, they're still very anti each other. Now, I've heard in later episodes, Ivanova and Talia get rather close, or there's hints that they get close. But currently, that's not happening. Maybe it's just latent sexual tension. There's a scene later on, like near the end of the thing, when Talia turns up to talk to, I forget, I think it's Sinclair, and all of a sudden her hair is completely different. Where she's normally got her hair swept back, she's just got this weird bangs, as you Americans call it. She's got a weird fringe, just for one scene. That's very interesting. Meanwhile, Ivanova is having like 20 hairstyles. I've noticed that through this disc. Okay, next episode is called A Voice in the Darkness Part 1. So this is the first two-parter from Babylon 5, written by J. Michael Straczynski. There's a hostile planet, the planet that the station is orbiting is called Epsilon 3, and it sends out this beam, and there's a sort of mystery as to what's going on. One thing I noticed I noticed it here, but I noticed it in previous episodes as well. A lot of these scenes are conversations, and once the conversation's finished, one of them walks away, but then they stop and turn around and go, "Oh, by the way," or they say something like, just as they get to the door, they go, "Michael, yes, just be careful." You know, they always add this little extra bit on there. It's quite funny. It's very, very sitcom-y, you know. Not sitcom-y, soap opera-y. So what else have we got here? There's trouble on Mars. Michael Garibaldi is worried that an ex-girlfriend of his is getting caught up in trouble, possibly died in a revolution, and he's hoping to kind of reconcile with her, as seems to be his lot. He doesn't get his way, although she does survive. Let's have a look here. Sinclair has Sinclair has a hallucination. Many of them do, of the alien being who's at the base of this Epsilon 3 planet. He's kind of like a caretaker type character. But the reason I kind of noted that was, I don't know how well it's known, but it was revealed to the public that when Michael O'Hare, who plays Sinclair, left the show, it was because he was having mental health problems, including hallucinations and paranoid delusions. I mean, he's no longer with us, but he did make, it was kept quiet to begin with, but he did make it public in the interest of telling people about mental health issues. So that was a kind of weird premonition thing. The Star Furies animation of, there's lots of space action, and the Star Furies animation is getting better. In previous episodes, when you saw the Star Furies doing their thing, they seem to be very floaty. You know, they're just doing this. There's not much speed in action, but I noticed a few shots in this one, they just felt like they were a bit more agile and traveling a lot faster. And they were doing the Star Wars shot, where the camera sees it approaching the camera, and then the camera turns as it flies past. So it gives it that whoosh, you know, that really fast kind of effect, which is a lot better. It worked, and George Lucas sorted that out. Very funny scene where Londo is trying to study human nature, and he says all the great songs and poems that Earth has ever come up with. And what song do they teach the kids? You put your right hand in, your right hand out, you do the hokey pokey. Yeah, we call it hokey cokey in this country. But he's becoming more sympathetic as a character. He's less weaselly, less nasty, less selfish. He's becoming a bit more likable. I hope that carries on, because I don't like it when he's being a weasel, as I said in a previous video. No sign of Jakar, and this is the first cliffhanger in the series. So episode 19 is the second part of this, The Voice in the Darkness part 2, and all I've noted here is that there is a main trio now established, whereas all the videos and even the DVDs and everything, they put pictures of, especially on the first disc, they put Londo and Jakar with Sinclair in the middle. The main trio of people in this show are Sinclair, Ivanova, and Garibaldi. They're your Kirk, McCoy, and Scotty. Even the Doctor isn't a main character. He's very sporadic. And Delenn, Londo, Jakar, they're all kind of supporting characters, I guess. Some interesting stuff. There was not an episode I didn't like in this one. They were all pretty good. In the previous disc, there were two, like the one that was overpacked and the one that was just didn't really do it for me. It's a bit underwhelming, but these are all good. The two-parter was good. I feel sorry for Sinclair, because every time he comes up against anyone from Earth, the Earth Alliance or the Earth Forces, they all hate him. Everyone's really hostile, and I'm taking over, and they pitted him against a spaceship called the Hyperion from Earth, which was threatening to take over the entire thing, and Sinclair had to threaten him with, destruction in order to tell him to back off a bit. And yeah, I mean, you see this in Star Trek a lot. There's always somebody who comes in who starts to throw their weight around. And then at the end, they go, I'm sorry, I overstepped the mark. You were right in the end. And you go, It's a sci-fi trope, I guess. Still, interesting stuff. So that's it. I've got one disc left for season 1. And then instead of moving directly on to season 2, I've been told by some subscribers that I should go back to watch The Gathering, which was the pilot episode. The reason I didn't watch The Gathering first is because I was also told by someone who got to me first and said, don't watch The Gathering first, watch a couple of seasons first, then go back to The Gathering. But I've since been told maybe you should watch The Gathering to get more info. The next disc I'm watching is the final 4 episodes of season 1, and that has a lot of special features on it. So I'm going to watch some of those to get some insight on the show and the making of the show and what JMS thinks about it. Anyway, that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed this mild review of disc 5 as episodes 17 to 19. 17, 18, 19. It's just dawned on me. I've only seen 3 episodes and there's one left. It's right in front of me. Episode 20. Hold that thought. I'll be back.
1 Lando Malari later.
Okay, 1 hour later. It's now 3:15, and I'm back. Sorry, let me just adjust this a little bit. So I've just watched episode 20, Babylon Squared. I must admit, I am very tired, so I only watched this superficially. It wasn't a bad bit of entertainment, though. A little correction to previous video. I think I may have referred to the 2-parter as Voice in the Darkness. It's actually Voice in the Wilderness, part 1 and 2. Okay, so this episode opens with a little attempted sort of situation comedy. It's breakfast in the mess hall, and Ivanova joins Sinclair. Why am I always freezing on names? Sinclair and I keep saying Jerry Doyle. This is the actor's name, Garibaldi. And she's nodding off. So they swap their full plates for empty plates and tell her she's, slept through all of breakfast, which seems out of character for this show. Anyway, it was all right. Anyway, so there's an A and a B story again on this. The A story is that Babylon 4 returns out of some kind of time warp, and they kind of refer to it as the Flying Dutchman. The B story is Delenn goes off to meet with some of the elders of the Minbari church or council or whatever you want to call it, and they ask her to sort of leave Babylon 5 and rejoin them for some reason, and she refuses because she says we've got a lot to learn from humans. Anything more than that I didn't quite catch because, like I say, I'm tired. Right, so most of it takes place on Babylon 4. There's a guy called Zafar, and he's the only one who seems to have any answers about this weird time distortion thing. And interestingly enough, a character appears out of thin air in a blue spacesuit, but the spacesuit, film fans, is a repainted astronaut suit from 2001: A Space Odyssey. So that was a nice little touch. So there's another comedy skit actually when Sinclair and Garibaldi are in a ship together on their way to Babylon 4. They've got 2 hours to kill apparently, so Garibaldi starts talking about, here's a question for you, Commander. When you're getting dressed in the morning, do you fasten then zip, or do you zip then fasten? And he's like, what? He goes, well, every conversation doesn't have to be about the end of the world. And he's like, I fasten then zip. He's like, me too. Do you want to talk socks? And he's like, no. And you're like, this is another attempt at situation comedy. I don't mind that. See, that's kind of, it's not slapstick, but it's kind of like a little bit of situational humor, observational humor or whatever, just to lighten things up. As Joss Whedon used to say, if you don't have these moments of levity, and everything is dead serious. The serious stuff just becomes a bit flat. You need peaks and troughs. So if you can put a little bit of comedy in now and again, it can throw, it relaxes the audience and gets them ready for the next intense bit. So not a bad episode. Like I say, I watched it, I was entertained by it. I did occasionally go like that, when you're kind of beginning to nod. I didn't miss any of it, but like I say, it's just gone 3 a.m. The next time I watch 4 episodes will be in the morning, so I've got a daylight setting. Anyway, that's it from me. Let us leave this as it is, and I will see you next time. Take care now. Bye-bye then.